Welcome to the Healthpreneur podcast. My name is Uriel Kame, New York Times bestselling author, former professional athlete, and founder of Healthpreneur, the world's leading company helping health and fitness experts start and scale high-end coaching businesses. If you want to attract more clients, learn how to convert them without feeling salesy, and deliver an amazing program for them on the back end, if you want to be inspired by what others just like you have gone through and how you can do the same no matter what life throws your way, then you are in the right place, because every single week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to be bringing you the best to help you take your knowledge and expertise to the next level with your health or fitness coaching business. And if you enjoy what you see and hear and would like to take your business to the next level, then I invite you to check out our free online training over at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. And for now, let's get into today's episode. Hey guys, what's going on? Yuri here. Welcome back to the podcast. Super excited to be joined by an amazing client of ours, super rock star, Brandy Lipscomb. And I'm really excited to have her on the show because Brandy has done some crazy things with us inside of HBA. We'll get into that in just a few moments, but first, just so you have a bit of context about who she is. She is trained as a naturopathic physician. That was her journey up until this point. She was a combat medic serving in Iraq. She is a mother, a natural-born entrepreneur, I think, and she's doing some great stuff in our space. And I'm super excited to have you with us here, Brandy. So thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me on, Yuri. It's an honor, and I'm just so happy that I found you and your program. It's changed my life.
Well, thank you very much. So let's talk about what life looked like for Brandy, maybe, a couple months, a year or 2 years ago. Like walk us through what a normal, everyday, average day would look like for you.
Well, let's go back to 2017, before I sold my medical practice, because I started and ran a family practice out in the mountains of rural Washington State. Beautiful place, and loved my clients. But, I wanted to take care of everyone. And so I was Medicaid, Medicare, dealing with insurance, and you have to write, 3 authorizations before you have permission to touch your client and do anything for them. And, then you would treat them for 4 visits and the insurance would deny it. And it was so frustrating that the health insurance companies completely dictated my ability to help my clients. And so, that was the model that I said, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't working for me. It's not working for my clients. What else is there out there? So, I sold that.
How many clients were you typically seeing on a daily basis? Like, was it like nonstop, go, like burnout almost, or what did that look like for you?
As a naturopathic doctor, we take more time with people.
Okay.
Our goal is to treat the root cause. And so 30-minute office visit was pretty common, an hour for a first office call. So I would really spend the time with people. I would probably see anywhere from 14 to 20 patients a day, and run, and then go home and chart all night long. I'm just sitting at my desk charting and doing paperwork for the next 4 hours. And so, yeah, it was easily 60+ hour weeks, and the burnout was very real. There's huge relief behind figuring out how to let that go.
Awesome. So then you go from that to what's the next step for you in that process?
Well, I mean, that's, my personal journey. We've relocated back to the East Coast to be closer to family. And I was thinking, I'll just set up like a holistic healthcare kind of advisory, because I'm not licensed within the state of West Virginia. And then my father passed away very unexpectedly, unfortunately. And so I spent the next 2 years sort of on a sabbatical and learning about finances. And don't laugh, but I was actually selling life insurance and annuities for a while, because it helped me have a flexible schedule to be home and learn about money 101, and learn things that as a busy doctor, I never had time for personal growth and development. So over the past year and a half, yes, I protected families, but I also read 35 different books on personal growth, development, and finance. And I developed myself. I let my husband take the wheel and pay the bills for a little bit so that I could find some time to grow as a person.
That's
And
awesome.
yeah, once I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was ready for something else, that was when I found you.
So was there a moment you can remember, or was it like a culmination of moments that led you to be like, this life insurance stuff is not really what I want to do? Like, was there at one moment, like you're sitting by the fireplace and it just like, hit you in the head, or like, what did that transition look like?
Pretty much. I mean, through all of the reading and the studying of personal growth and development, I knew in my heart of hearts that what I was doing was a temporary. It was the bridge between that and whatever I was going to do next in medicine, because that's, my passion is in helping and healing and, transforming lives. But there was definitely that moment, and I was sitting actually in my reading chair. So I get up every morning and I meditate, and I read and I journal. The first 45 minutes of my day is just, focused on that type of thing before the kid wakes up. And it was one book. It was Jen Sincero, You're a Badass at Making Money, that I was reading it, and her words were literally like jumping out of the page at me. And it was halfway through that book that I said, it's time. It's time, it's here, it's now, I'm ready. And I finally was ready to embrace the next phase of my life.
That's awesome. Well, I will say, like, out of all of our clients, you probably have one of the most dialed in money mindsets. And like you've talked about some of your affirmations that you have, which is great. And I think, as you know, a lot of, like, in our space, there's a lot of hangups around money, like charging for healing, helping people, the whole bit. And it's, our job is to help, obviously people like you, like, really command what you're worth. And it's been great to see you do so great. And I think it's funny too, because like so many women have read that book by Jen Sincero, and it's like, it's good. Like whatever you need to do to build that mindset, to build your self-belief and can command what you're worth, I think is awesome. So that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm always recommending books to people, that's where I find most of my healing inspiration and drive from.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So you're ready to kind of make things happen now. And how did you come across us? Like, how did you come across HBA and what we're doing?
It was that awesome ad of you and your family in the bathing suits on the beach.
Yeah, like our best ad of all time, for sure.
Yes, it was that great ad that, I'd seen it in the past, and I had been attracted to it. Like when I felt just completely burdened by my practice, I would look at your ad on Facebook and I would be like, I would really like to click on that. I'd really like to know how to do something different. But I just sort of was locked in my own world at that time. And within 2 days of me deciding that I needed to hire a coach, I saw your ad and, hit the done button, watched the webinar. And, by the time the webinar was done, it really didn't matter to me what it cost to be a part of your program. I knew that your method was exactly the kind of streamlined approach that I wanted. I didn't want to have to start the blog and the podcast and write the book and do 15,000 things. I was like, that man knows what he's talking about. I just felt it, and knew that that you were going to present me with something that I could hook my teeth into. So yeah, I was done from the day one of the webinar.
That's so cool. I mean, this is a great reminder for anyone running ads, why it's important to, like, longevity matters, right? If you're running ads for like a day, it's not going to make a difference. But if you consistently put your ad out, people are going to see your stuff. And like, it's funny because in my health and fitness business, everyone used to tell me, dude, I've seen your YouTube videos all over the place, or I've seen a lot of them. Now what I get whenever I go to an event is like, dude, I keep seeing your ads all over the place. I'm like, that's great. That's what I want. That's what we want for you guys too. Like, we always want you to be top of mind, because in your case, maybe you weren't ready 2 years ago, but when you were ready, we were right there for you. And I think that's just, that's so cool. So what was it about the message that really spoke to you the most?
Well, it was the idea that I didn't have to I was thinking that I had to do the blog and the podcast and write the book. And I even had the book kind of like outlined. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to take me 3 years. And, seeing your simple 4-step process of how you create a business and position yourself as an expert in your field and reach out through Facebook advertising to, find your ideal client through your perfect client pipeline. It just spoke to me. I was like, that is exactly how I want to get in front of people.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. So let's talk about, because you've mentioned this before, like, the fear of getting started, like talk to us about that whole, like making that commitment and what you were going through there.
Well, it was terrifying, honestly. I'd never hired a coach before. Spending, not insignificant amount of money on a program like this, and getting, figuring out how to make it all work, how to, continue to bring money in with this one program and invest in this and get this rolling. Like, there was definitely the fear there, and that could have paralyzed me, but I'm not that type of person. I've always said that, fear is the greatest enemy of all times. And so, it was a matter of kind of putting on my big girl panties and saying, like, how can I do this? First of all, instead of just saying, oh, there's no way. I knew I wanted it. And so I just started saying, how can I make this happen? And I will make this happen. And I don't care how much time and effort I have to put in. If I have to sell life insurance all day long and then work on this until midnight, that's what I'm going to do. I just made the commitment, and there was no room for failure at that point.
Oh, that's awesome. And that's what we're looking for. Like we know when we can work with, like, the two things for us we look at are, number one, you have to be an expert. Like, you have to be really good at what you do, and you're amazing at what you do. And then second is having that confidence to know that even though I don't necessarily know how this all works yet, I will figure it out. And
right.
Having that do whatever it takes attitude is so important, because as you know, like, even within our HBA clients, there are a lot of people who go through this journey of self-doubt and the worry and the so forth. And that's part of the journey. For you, like, what were some of the initial challenges, and how did you work through some of that?
Well, I'm not that technologically savvy by nature. I mean, I was one of those physicians who was like, dragged myself kicking and screaming into electronic charts. I would have written on paper for the rest of my life. Yeah. And, I had never created a webinar before. And so the webinar piece of that puzzle, figuring out how to deliver this message in a way that is going to attract the people that I know I can help. That was definitely one of the biggest challenges. And then figuring out how to record the darn thing. I remember laughing my first couple attempts to record the webinar. I, finally paused the computer for a second, and I went into my family room, and I told my husband, there's definitely a learning curve to this. This is going to take a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I, had some water, went back in, and, just determination to craft this, because I knew that message on that webinar, that's what's going to be representing me and working for me out there 24/7. So, that was by far the most challenging piece of it. The rest of it sort of flows. You get through the webinar, and it's just like you just climb the mountain, and, you're up at the 10,000 foot peak, and it's downhill from here.
Totally. Awesome. And so from start to deploy, how long was that? What, about 2.5 months for you?
2.5 months. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So context for the viewers, listeners here, you have no background in like running an online business, not technically savvy. Yeah. Obviously we tell everyone, like, listen, there's going to be challenges whether you work with us or not, but it helps if we have you guide, like if we're there to guide you through it. So you go from nothing to deploying your perfect client pipeline in 2.5 months, which is awesome. And then what happens? Like, what was the moment for you where you're like, holy shit, this works?
The first week. I mean, I deployed some ads and they weren't even that great yet. My webinar wasn't even that great yet. It was my like, okay, I've got this done. I've got my program outlined. Like, here we go, world. And I had my first 2 clients within the first week and made enough money to pay back my entire investment in your program.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't just, like a one-off, like, oh, I sold the program to someone, I'm going to help one person. Yay. It was, I enrolled 2 clients by the end of my first week and I was on cloud 9. I was like, I have proof of concept times 2. And, and then when I've gotten some feedback from those clients and they are so happy and they're doing so well and they're completely healed and they, can't imagine their lives without my program, it's such a good feeling.
That's amazing. That's so good. So if we got other HBA clients watching right now and they're currently going through the building of their pipeline and going through all that self-doubt and the worry and the challenges and the sticking points, what advice, what encouragement do you give to them?
Well, become the Jedi master of your own mind. Every thought counts, and guard your thoughts, hone your thoughts. You would weed your garden, weed out your mind. Don't let like those anxious thoughts of like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. Yuri, I don't have time for that. I don't allow negative thinking and fear-based thinking to root or seed in my mind. If I catch myself having a thought like that, I immediately stop it, correct it, change it into a positive, and charge forward.
Nice.
There's just no other way to do it.
I love it. That's so good. And like, I think it's important for everyone to remember, Tony Robbins famously says like success is 20% mechanics, 80% psychology. And I think when, we work with hundreds of clients who are going through the same process, and it's amazing to see what allows certain people to really crush it quickly. And then others take a lot longer. And there's nothing other than between the ears. Right. And that's why we had the whole segment on the podcast called Between the Ears, because it is such a limiting factor, or it's your best friend. And I love how you mentioned like it's your choice. Like you can just be conscious and aware to stop it and choose a better thought that serves you. And that's so important.
Yes, it is. The mindset is everything. And it is normal to have fear, right? It's a normal, I think we all have a little fear of failure within ourselves, but we also have our greatness, and how dare you not share your greatness with the world?
Totally. It's selfish. Come on.
Yeah. If I let fear rule me, then my clients wouldn't be out there winning tennis matches and golfing vacations and, getting their range of motion back. Like I'm so glad I didn't let fear stand in my way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you comfortable sharing, one of your best months so far? Like what you've done, just ballpark figure wise?
Well, that would be the month that we're currently in. So, I deployed my program at the very end of February. And so, got 2 clients right away. And then the next 2 weeks, it was like, slow down, like some, luckily it was a time for me to really work on building out my modules and everything. But we're at the 25th of the month and I'm over 25K for the month.
Shit, that's awesome. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like virtual high five, that's incredible. Better than selling life insurance, right? And you're helping clients in such a deep manner, which is tremendous. And like, I'll say this from our side of things as coaches, is like, it's amazing to see success stories like yourself, because it's so inspiring, not just for us, but also for all the other clients that we're working with, right? Because everyone wants to know that this can work, right? Like I know without a shadow of a doubt that it works. And I tell everyone, I'm like, just borrow my belief. It works. Just borrow my belief. But it's always nice to see beacons like yourself who can now like shine the light. Like, you know what? That's like, I can do it. If Brandy can do it, I can do it as well. Right. So I just want to thank you for, for being that beacon. It's so awesome.
Thank you. Yes. Borrow my belief, guys.
Yeah, totally. So, and so what, like if someone's watching this and they're considering working with us, or they're on the fence, or they're like, I don't know what this guy is. He's a bit of a, who knows what would you tell someone if they're considering working with us in the HBA program?
Wow. I'm really big about people trusting their intuition, but I'm definitely going to say that if there's someone out there who's looking for a coach and looking for a method and looking for a program that is designed to give you from A to Z the support that you need. You've brought in the most amazing people around you to help you, bring this program to life for us, from the copy coaches, the Facebook coaches, I would say it's a no-brainer, like you have your commitment to excellence shines through every single facet of this program.
Okay.
And it's been a joy. It's been a privilege. And I would recommend it to anyone interested in starting a business, especially in the health and fitness space.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Brandon, this has been really, really great. Final words of wisdom before we finish off, just from your perspective, your journey so far, which again is still so, like I don't know who I was telling yesterday. I'm like, Brandi is going to be crushing $100,000 months in like a couple months. Seriously.
I think it's possible.
Yeah. Like it's going to happen. I have no doubt. So based on your journey so far in this whole world of entrepreneurship, what words of wisdom would you give to someone else who is, who has expertise, who's maybe unsure of how to do things? If they were reading your book, if you had written the book, like what's like the one nugget you'd want people to really take home from you?
I guess it would be something about intentional cultivation of that which you want. Reading 35 books on personal growth, development, finances, manifesting, that year of investing in myself changed my life, Yuri. It changed my mindset. I can't have a bad day. I've programmed myself. I've honed myself to the point that I go to bed thinking about how great tomorrow is going to be, regardless. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, right before my alarm clock, and I wake up and I'm excited. Do something that makes you jump out of bed, excited to get your day going. But don't go so fast that you miss the parts where you cultivate your own personal health and well-being. My lifestyle today, my daily life is amazing. And I have crafted it to be exactly what I want through intention, through journaling, through excessive reading, and, meditation. It's all right here, Yuri. That's all there is to it.
That's great. And you just actually, reminded me before we finish off, what is your day-to-day life look like now? So it used to be 60-hour plus weeks on the verge of burnout. What does life look like for you now?
Oh, well, I wake up and take some supplements, drink my mineralized water, I meditate, and then I journal and read, and then I exercise for about 30 minutes. And then I get to have morning time with my 4-year-old. He wakes up and we have some games, cartoons. I leisurely, drop him off at school by 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm in my office. I have office hours where I'm working on whatever my list is for the day. I definitely am a list maker. I'm probably working from about 9 to 3, 4 days a week, and then about 9 to noon on Fridays. So that by 3 o'clock, I go pick up my kid, I bring him home, we play in mud puddles, we play in the yard. Fridays are always our special day to go, we have a play date Friday afternoons. Weekends, I just let my funnel work for me, and I enjoy time with my family. So I'm probably working about 25 to 30 hours a week now. And I'm loving every minute of it.
That's awesome. So good. So good, Brandi. Well, thank you so much again for sharing this, for opening up, and hopefully inspiring a lot of our listeners and viewers. Once again, thank you so much, Brandi.
Thank you so much, Yuri.
Yeah, well, totally. I mean, it's a pleasure. I mean, for me, it's not even work. It's very much like it is not work for you when you get to do what you love. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So guys, if you're watching this, listening to this, if this has inspired you and you're like, you know what, I'm ready to make this happen, 2 things: watch our online training, our webinar. It's at healthprenuergroup.com/training. If you like what you see, very much like Brandi did, then just book a call with us and we'll see if we're a good fit. And if we are, then I'm sure we can make some magic happen together. So thank you guys for tuning in. Brandi, once again, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys soon. Hey, thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the Healthpreneur podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, here's what I'd like you to do right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Healthpreneur podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, leave us a rating or review. It helps us get in front of more people and change more lives. And if you're ready to start or scale your health or fitness coaching business and want to start getting in front of more people, working with them at a higher level without trading time for money, then I invite you to check out our free 7-figure health business blueprint training, totally free right now. And you can do so at healthpreneurgroup.com/training. For now, thank you so much for joining us. Continue to be great, do great, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.